Hi, I'm Dan Chevalier, your Vice President Education and Welfare.
Hi, I'm Charlotte, your Student Voice Assistant.
And we're just going to talk to you a little bit about the Student Union and the support that we've got here for you. We've also got Tiff Burnett, who's our Student Engagement Manager, who also works on education things and the STAR scheme with us. So firstly, you've got your leaders who are elected by you. So you've got 3 sabbatical officers, myself being one. You've got Dan Hepburn as Vice President Activities and Karis, who's our President. Alongside this, you've got 5 student officers who work with us to help promote the work we do and to work alongside us on campaigns and representing your voice as they're on the ground students to work alongside us. And we promote inclusion, participation and representation across the work that we do.
We also have our advice centre, which can be accessed by all current University of Winchester students. We aim to support students to make their own informed choices, offering free, impartial advice and information on a range of issues that may be impacting upon your university experience. So our advice centre is independent from the university, and so we specialise in supporting students through academic process of appeals, fitness to practice, misconduct or complaints. And the advice centre also provides support on issues such as wellbeing, money and housing. And here is our poster that kind of just sums up everything that we do within the advice centre. If you'd like to contact our advice centre, then you can complete our advice inquiry form in the website below and get in contact with our advisor, Ree.
So within your time at university, you may be familiar with some of these routes. These are your academic support routes that are on offer. So you've got support to study, which is a long-term support from the university, initiated by the university to make sure you feel supported throughout the longer term. You've got extenuating circumstances where you can apply with our help as well if you need it for 10 working day extension, which evidence is required for. Or you've got the self-certification policy, which was worked on by my predecessor quite heavily, which is the 5 working day extension where no evidence is required for that extension. We're also working quite quickly behind the scenes to try get scale penalties changed so that now you can have this scale penalty approach so that if you submit a minute late versus a week late, you are not penalised straight away at that cliff edge 40% cap. It's a graded sort of drop down to make it fairer for students. We've also got the new SSSA roles, which are in the university student services and based in faculties to support you with any sort of academic or wellbeing concerns to have that joined up approach. And then, of course, just a reminder that we have our Student Union Advice Centre who can help you understand any of the policies or any of the information that are sort of provided on that slide.
So I'm now going to talk to you a little bit about our STARS scheme, which is our Student Academic Rep scheme. A little bit about how the STARS system works. So you have elected STARS per programme per year, and they gather feedback from your cohort, and this can be in whichever way that suits them, such as through a survey or through just an informal discussion, through online, through emails, and they take this feedback to an SSLC, which the chair lists your feedback as an agenda point. The SSLC stands for a Student Staff Liaison Committee, and it is with all the STARS for a programme and the programme admin and the programme leader. Basically, the SSLC means they just discuss your feedback and the programme leader responds to this, and this is minuted. These minutes are then sent out to the rest of the cohort as well as to us here at the SU. Myself and Dan then read through and annotate these minutes to find out key themes and work out how to improve your learning experience. From this, we then write up a report, and this report is then sent to university meetings. It's sent to ELT. Some of these issues are raised at the top of the university, but some are just raised at programme level, and this is why there are changes within the university. So the main thing to say about the STAR scheme is we act on your feedback, and that is why the STAR scheme is so important.
Okay, so just to touch a little bit on the feedback loop, which is something within the STAR scheme, and it's basically the emphasis that your voice does matter, and it starts with your voice. So as STARS will gather feedback, as Charlotte's just outlined, that will go to the SSLC discussions to be discussed about the sort of concerns and the positives about the feedback that's been given. This gets circulated through programme team and departmental team meetings and discussed between colleagues. And then from this as well, our report, which goes directly to ELT, the Vice Chancellor, deans and different university bodies where we have discussion items around how we can implement the changes that you've asked for at programme level across the institution. And then from this, the outcomes are fed back to STARS and the programme team so that they can feed this back to the student cohort so that the students can hear where your feedback's been listened to or where it possibly might have not been listened to, and then you can continue that cycle to feed back again the changes you want to see. It's just an emphasis on the fact that it all originates from you as students, feeding your voice through and then acting the change. Some of the sort of improvements from the scheme that we've seen is the things like no detriment policy, which was a huge feat of work which came from the ground up. So that was students telling us at the union and the university that they wanted something to protect their interests during COVID. And the university listened and created this no detriment policy in collaboration with the unions. This was a huge scale change that was embedded from STARS and students speaking at programme level. You've also got programme level discussions about blended and hybrid learning, teaching capture, quality of content, which I'm often in a lot of university meetings discussing what you've told us about these types of issues. So that is everything from us. We just wanted to reach out and let you know that your voice does truly matter and you feed into this big picture across the institution to drive change, and how important it is for you to keep in conversation with us. So there's some of our social media there, as well as the email for the education, so you can speak to any of us in the education team. We're here to represent you, and we want to hear what you sort of need and what you're after, so that we can continue to drive change through the union. So thank you for listening.